Good evening. Welcome back to IU Theater Thursdays. I am Richard Roland. I'm the head of musical theater here at Indiana University, and also director and co-producer of this series. We took a month off. We didn't do our episode 2 weeks ago out of reflection and reckoning, and a lot of searching and asking. And I'd like to read to you tonight, before we get started, a statement composed by not myself, but students at IU School of Theater, Department of Theater, Drama, and Contemporary Dance. But I firmly stand by these words. I uphold them, and I hold them dearly. So I'd like to share them with you. Thank you to CJ Roberts, Danielle McKnight, Adrienne Embry, Ethan St. Germain, Tiana Williams, Victoria Wiley, and Nina Donville. The students and faculty of IUMT recognize the immeasurable pain and injustice within our Black community, not only in light of recent events, but throughout all of history. It is important now, more than ever, to look within ourselves and our communities and look for ways that we can do more as active and positive allies. IUMT urges you to speak up, donate to organizations, educate one another, and keep this conversation going. We also recognize that IUMT has had its shortcomings in the past as far as properly advocating for our students of color and other minority groups. Together, we are learning and growing and holding ourselves accountable for ensuring that our students are heard and represented properly going forward. We are all experiencing such an unprecedented, painful time in history, but if there's anything we have learned at IUMT, it's that theater has the power to communicate, protect, heal, and educate. We stand with our Black colleagues, artists, students, storytellers, audience members, and community members across the nation. We see you, we hear you, we love you. Black Lives Matter. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Tiana. Thank you, Adrienne. Thank you, Danielle. And thank you, CJ, for those powerful and incredibly moving words. We're also facing, in these very unprecedented times, this pandemic, which I have never seen in my lifetime to this degree. And it's really affected everything. It's why we're doing this show. It's why we're here to keep live theater going. And now this is our proscenium, as I said the first episode. So we have to rethink what proscenium means. There are some theaters, however, that are going ahead and doing just that, putting the show back up on stage in the proscenium. And 3 of our students, Ben Dow, Katie Swaney, and Sam Sanderson, are up in Big Fork, Montana, working on the summer stock season up there. And I asked them to send me a little update video on what that process has been like, because we all want to get back to live theater as soon as possible, but we want to do it safely and responsibly. So please enjoy this little clip from Sam, Katie, and Ben.
Hi, IU Theater. I'm Sam.
I'm Ben.
I'm Katie.
We're coming to you from beautiful Big Fork, Montana, where we are performing this summer with the Big Fork Summer Playhouse. Things are certainly not as they would be this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ben, will you tell us about what our situation looked like when we first arrived in Montana?
You bet. So we had a really long and strenuous conversation about how we were going to keep the theater safe and how we were going to keep ourselves safe in the space. That kind of went on from April to May since we got here. We did a 14-day quarantine within our own campus, only interacting with each other, the production staff, and then the members of the crew in the pit. We made sure to keep all of our spaces super clean, mostly because when we rehearsed, we also rehearsed in the space, which is in downtown where there's a lot of people. So making sure there wasn't something among us was important. Yeah, making sure that we were all safe and healthy before moving forward and keeping our spaces clean.
The community here has also been really awesome because during the quarantine, they went grocery shopping for us.
They delivered us food.
Our own food.
so
We never left.
Yeah.
Never left.
So we've also been taking a lot of precautions just every day now that we're actually like out and about in the town and in rehearsals. So we do a temperature check every single day, and we also answer a list of questions, which are all about the symptoms of COVID, and they're marked down regardless of whether that symptom ends up being COVID related or not. So we're still being very careful. We have to be because rehearsals are very strenuous. We rehearse for 10 hours a day. 7 days a week, no days off, but it's been a really wonderful experience. They're super fun. When we're not rehearsing, we each are assigned a shop job. So I work in the costume shop when I'm not rehearsing, which is really fun. And we actually have just done our first run-throughs of our first 2 shows of the season in the past couple of days. So we are chugging along. The people are really wonderful, and the artistic teams are so beautiful to work with, really intelligent people. And obviously, as you can see, the place is gorgeous. So the rehearsal process so far has been really fun, exhausting. We're trying to stay healthy, but we love it here.
So also the Big Fork Summer Playhouse has been taking a number of steps to ensure both the cast members and the audience safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Patrons will wear masks while they're in the theater. Patrons are being asked to leave 2 empty seats between their party and the next party when they're buying their tickets in advance online. And the theater is also only selling every other row to ensure proper social distancing in the theater.
Correct.
We are super grateful to be working here. We're obviously very lucky to still have a job this summer, and what a wonderful job it is. We hope you all are staying healthy and safe, and we miss you, and have a great summer.
That's why I'm still the king of the unmuted mic. It's so good to see their faces. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ben. Please be safe and be well up in Montana. And it does look gorgeous. It's important to see how this goes. I hope all goes well, of course. We want everybody to succeed and be healthy. And I think just watching these little experimental steps happen across the country might be how we move through the pandemic until there is a reliable vaccine for us. So, but in the meantime, it's still just as important that we have our supporters of theater, that people still want to see it. They're that in love with it that they're willing to try this experiment and open that theater and see how it goes. So support of theater is very important. And right now I'd like to introduce you to 2 of our biggest supporters. They've been associate producers on many shows with us. Harlan Lewis and Doris Wittenberg. I think we'll come back to this in a minute. We're just having a little spinning wheel, as you can see there, the lovable multicolored spinning ball. Justin, what I could do is, if Maddie's ready, bring Madeline, or at least get Madeline's video ready to go. Oh, here we go.
My name is Harlan Lewis, and I've been in Bloomington since 1979.
I'm Doris Wittenberg. I've been in Bloomington since 1975. When I first came here, we would go infrequently. I've really come into this world because of Harlan, the going to theater and all the music that we hear and so forth.
And I have been attending activities at IU since I came here. first of all, I love the variety of productions that are available both in the theater and in dance. I'm a big fan of both ballet and modern dance. I have been for many, many years.
Being able to escape into another world.
I love going to the first reading of a play because it's really fascinating to see the students get into their characters as they're doing the reading, and begin to occupy that other person, that other personality a little bit as they read the script, and that's always fascinating. Well, I hope that they'll come back with the enthusiasm that they had last fall for both the theater and the dance programs.
I'd like to be sympathetic to all the hard work that they put in, but weren't able to see to fruition in this season. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what does happen.
You and me both, Doris. Yes. Harlan and Doris, thank you so much for that message and answering our questions, and for your continued generous support of IU theater and dance. In terms of looking forward, our episode's going to be a little shorter this evening. We're not featuring as many students this time around. We've got 2 more seniors from the class of 2020 that weren't able to make it on the last episode. With that, though, I'm excited to present some interviews that I conducted over the past couple of days. Actually, 2 days ago, I conducted an interview with our new Director of Patron Services, Sheree Bohannon, who's moving here from Chicago, and she'll also be our house manager. And more than a month ago at this point, I recorded an interview with Ken Roberson, who retired in May from IU. He's not retired from the business. He wanted to be clear about that. And he'll talk about that too. But we've got those pre-recorded interviews for you this evening as well. But up next, I would like to bring forth a little bit of our musical theater talent. This is Bloomington's own Madeline Allender singing "Nothing Breaks a Heart."
This world can hurt you, it cuts you deep and leaves a scar. Things fall apart, but nothing breaks like a heart. Nothing breaks like a heart. I heard you on the phone last night. We live and die by pretty lies, you know it. Oh, we both know it. This silver bullet cigarettes, this burning house, there's nothing left, it's smoking. Oh, we both know it. We got all night to fall in love, but just like that we fall apart. We're broken, yeah, we're broken. Oh, nothing's gonna save us now. This broken silence by thunder crashing in the dark. This broken record spin endless circles in the bar. This world can hurt you, it cuts you deep and leaves a scar. Things fall apart, but nothing breaks like a heart. Nothing breaks like a heart.
Great. Thank you, Maddie. Now I'd like to bring Maddie in live. Welcome.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. That was a lot of fun. You know what that song reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of some of Cher's older tunes.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with some of her like early to mid 70s tunes?
Yeah.
Just with the minor chords and the beat and the way the melody moves around. That was fun. I've never seen you do that, so that sounded great.
Thank you.
So, Maddie, what have you been doing with your summer?
Wow, this summer I have been staying in Bloomington. I'm in my beautiful wood-paneled college home.
Yes.
And I've been working for B-Town Menus. It's a like driving delivery service to make some money to save up. And other than that, I've just been running a lot to pass the time and watering my plants and taking care of my cat.
Aw. So you graduated with your BFA in musical theater in May of this year, but you started off as
Yes, as a BA.
As a BA. Yeah, you transferred in your sophomore year. What was that like?
It was a relatively smooth transition, honestly. I knew that the BFA is something I wanted to pursue, and the university made it really easy to take most of the classes that the freshman BFAs were taking at the time. So I never felt like I was too behind. There were only a couple of things I had to play catch up with, but other than that, it was a very relatively smooth transition into the program sophomore year.
Great. Where do you see yourself once we're able to get up and move about the country? Where do you see yourself going? What do you want in your future?
Well, I actually am getting up and moving about the country.
Where are you going?
I'm moving to Chicago in, I guess a couple weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I have a lease starting in Chicago in Logan Square starting July 1st, and plan to make a slow transition, but I'll be out of here by the last week of July.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that decision.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. What are your hopes for your career? And when you're in that career, how do you want to affect the world with what you do?
Whoa.
If that's a goal.
That's such a big question. I love it. I love having multiple streams of income. We've talked about that in some of our classes in our T300 work and how you have like supplemental income. But I truly love like doing multiple things and having my eggs in so many different baskets. So I'm really looking forward to Chicago in that regard. And I hope that my career is full of performing, being signed to an agency that could hopefully do like print work or commercials, and teaching voice lessons. I plan to do that out of my apartment to have supplemental income as well. So I want to be involved in the arts in as many ways as I can and impact the world in that way.
Great. That sounds exciting. I love that. What words, what couple sentences would you give to a student transferring into the program as a sophomore, as so many do, either from the BA program or outside of the walls of the theater department, and sometimes from another school completely? What would you give that incoming sophomore, or sometimes we call them freshmores, to get grounded within our community?
Wow, I would tell them that it's going to be okay. Nothing is worth stressing out about. It's going to be okay, freshmores.
Great. And it is. It's going to be okay. Right. Maddie, we sort of came in together. You came into the program as I came into the program. Yeah. So it's been an extreme delight and pleasure watching you grow in those 3 years and becoming this very, very sure, solid performer. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck with your move, and please stay safe in Chicago. Wash your hands, all that fun stuff that you're probably doing very well here anyway. But we will miss you, and we hope we get to see you back in our spaces anytime you want to come back.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you.
Great, Maddie. Have a great summer.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So we have Maddie, who's moving to Chicago. Sheree is moving here from Chicago. Wait, there could have been an apartment swap there somewhere, maybe? No. Anyway, next up, I want to introduce Sheree Bohannon, who is also actually is one of our producers on this show as well. And I had to edit down our interview from like 22 minutes to 12 because there was so much fun stuff there. What I'll probably do is upload the full interview to to one of our sites, that if you're interested in watching what else we talked about. And really, we laughed a lot. So I know instantly right away when we started laughing that we're going to have a good time together. I think she's an incredibly gifted person, incredibly. It's exactly who we need for this job. I think she's going to be fantastic in working with our audiences. I won't give away too much, but she does a lot, and I think she probably does a lot really, really well. So please enjoy this interview with Sheree Bohannon that we conducted a few days ago. Hi, welcome to the new segment, Who's New IU? Yes, I made that up, and apparently I can't remember my own title. Anyway, with me today, I'd like to introduce you to Sheree Bohannon, who is going to be our new house manager and director of patron services for IU Theater and Dance. Welcome, Sheree.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Now, you're still in Chicago right now, and in fact, we're pre-recording this on Tuesday because you're actually moving on Friday?
Friday afternoon, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thursday is going to be like that last minute rush of what have I forgotten? So it was not the best time to sit down. Yeah.
Well, anyway, officially, welcome. We can't wait to have you here in person, just to be quarantined again for a few more weeks, but we look forward to having you here. It's really exciting. So that hits me off with my first question. So now that we're in these circumstances, talk about given circumstances, how do you approach your job as house manager and director of patron services in this situation?
This has definitely been a wild time to be front of house anywhere. We're always looking at the new science. We're also looking at what the university sends out as far as policies are going for that. And Indiana specifically, we want to make sure that we're giving our students a way to be creative and like practice the craft that they've chosen to practice with us, as well as making sure the audience can access it, however that may be. So we're looking into all options and every option to make sure we can have all of that happen. But yeah, like it's all still rolling out and it's all being updated very quickly, as I'm sure everyone was watching in a test. It's like an information overload. Yeah.
You've had a lot of front of house experience. You've worked in box offices, theaters, but you're also a playwright.
Yes.
And I think one thing I read about you is it said you're when you're not playwriting, you run to the front of house work, but you trade back and forth. So have you been writing during this time, or are you constantly writing as a playwright?
Like I'm one of those people who I have to be in the right mindset to write. So I've started a couple of things, but I haven't like really gotten to delve in or like do revisions just because it is a stressful time. And so it's hard to like switch your brain into that mode. Especially because I started working technically April 1st, even though I couldn't be there physically. And so that's been fun, as well as like balancing all of my like side things that I do and trying to pack. So I'm actually looking forward to being in Indiana so I can have this giant item off of my to-do list and I can like sort of breathe a little bit and start putting more things on paper and like connecting more dots for projects I'm beginning. Yeah.
I read a story in your bio that in one of your bios that you came to playwriting to create spaces and roles and characters for the marginalized characters and actors in our culture. And I think one of the stories that you talked about is that whenever you played Ghostbusters as kids, I'm assuming kids. I mean,
yes.
we could play Ghostbusters now.
But, I would love that.
I know, me too. But you played the Annie Potts character because I'm just assuming that you were with a group of boys that had to be the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And that you had to be the secretary.
Yes, it was always that. Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, what have you. And that's, I think as a kid, I didn't have the vocabulary to understand why I was so angry with the media I consumed. And as I got older, I was like, it's because I don't see need. I don't see people who look like me. I don't see women doing more than answering phones. And so like, I don't know. I've always been the type of person who is like, I see a problem, I have to try and fix it no matter what. And so like, as I started working more towards playwriting specifically, I was like, what if people of color are like doing sci-fi? What if we get to do these like really cool things? Because I mean, I live for shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but also it's very limited when it comes to roles for BIPOC people. So yeah.
Do you see changes like that happening more often in sci-fi, or is there, like in many other parts of entertainment, is there still much more work to be done?
It's getting better, but also there's definitely still those like barriers and those problems that happen when you're not having a creative team that like reflects the actual world. And so people just, they don't want to recognize their own biases sometimes when they're writing. I see that across the board. There are playwrights guilty of it as well. And so like you definitely run into that. Well, you'll be watching something and you're just like, oh my God, I waited for this forever. And then like you have like this weird moment and you're like, that hurts me. It's a little bit cringy. And then you like look up the writer's room and you're like, that's why. But I will say that there are some cool places, like Jordan Peele is giving us a new Twilight Zone season. He rebooted it last year and it's kind of magnificent. It's not always completely like people of color, but like a lot of it is, and there's a lot more women and it's a lot better. I don't want to say better, but it's a lot better about representation, I should say. Right. Because you're getting these like same stories, but you're getting them where they look like the actual world that we're used to. And I think that is important for anything we're creating right now, is to look like the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you've created these plays, when you've written these plays and they're produced, what are the reactions or responses to the worlds that you're writing that you always wanted to see?
I get lots of thank yous, and I get lots of students who are excited. A lot of my friends have gone into teaching, and when they were like doing new plays, they'll like say new play exchange and they'll like mention me. And so it's kind of cool to see like all of these like kids I've never met just like find my stuff and read all of the shorts and what they say and how they like relate to it. Especially because like I'm also in the millennial group. I just barely made it. So I have like one foot in that door. And so it's nice to like see them respond to the things I'm doing, like when I use like social media and those sorts of things. And I turn it around. Yeah.
There's one title that particularly struck me, and then I read the description, and I want to read the whole thing now. It's Once Upon a Line.
Yes.
That you've written. Can you talk a little bit about that? I think the idea is fascinating.
Thank you. It's one of the ones that holds a special place because it was written during a 24-hour Playfest event. I love those because you don't have time to get in your own way if you have to write a 10-minute in 8 hours. And so it's just delirious fun. But like this one specifically, I forgot what I pulled, but like it was the thing I have to include. And so I got my actors and I like went and hid in the box office at Texas Tech. And I was just like, what if it was the Harry Potter line for the last book? And I have these friends who are having this argument that is just ridiculous in the line waiting for the last Harry Potter book. Somebody gets outed as a Twilight fan, and like there's that whole dynamic of you were judging me. and it's just it's a lot of twists and turns and just like good fun. I can send you that one. Yeah. But it's definitely one of them I enjoy because I remember being really sleepy when I wrote that and having to go back and like fix typos and like finish sentences, and I have no idea how it was performed the next day.
Right. So that's potentially stressful, having to churn something out. I won't say churn, but put something out within 24 hours.
I love it. I do. I'm not one of the playwrights who can sit down and make an outline, because if I do an outline, I will not write that play. I count it as the first draft and I'm done with it. I wish I could not be that way because life would be easier. I sit down and I sort of fill it out and I'll like meander forever. And so like having deadlines, even if it is 8 hours from now, handing it to the director, helps me out a lot.
My gosh, you've done it all. You playwright, stage managed, box office, front of house. I mean, I looked at your degrees, a master's in playwriting, a bachelor's in theater tech, and then an associate's in journalism. So you're just keep getting those degrees, keep piling them on. Can I ask you what led you to pursue your master's in playwriting?
always knew I wanted to be a writer, but I was also raised to be sort of practical, which is why my first degree was journalism, because it was a way for me to write and make money. Um, but like as I was like finishing it up, I was like, I really missed the creative writing aspects of my writing, and all of my electives were in that, like so many electives, and that I could have had another theater degree while I was there, but like that's a different story. And so I was like, what if I go to school for technical theater so that way I can make money while being in theater and I can write on the side? Because I was very naive and didn't understand how technicians are always working. um, and I took a playwriting course while I was there getting my stage management degree, and it just sort of felt right. And one of my friends who was a director was looking for things to put up on our black box and was like taking in scripts. And I was like, do you want to give me feedback? You don't need to produce it, but I would like feedback on the script I finally finished. And he really, really liked it. And he asked if he could like make it one of his last things he would direct in the black box for graduating. And I went and I like sat there with my little like nervous energy watching people watch it. And like the immediate feedback, whether it's good or bad, is just, it's hard to describe. I don't know if there's a word for it that would be appropriate for this recording. But I was like, I want this feeling more often. I want to pursue this feeling forever. And so I decided to go ahead and pursue what I want, which would be playwriting if I were to go to grad school, instead of being safe and trying to find a way to make money and be near what I wanted to do. Yeah.
What advice do you have for particularly our MFA students in all areas of I mean, you could also focus on just playwriting, but what advice do you have about that?
I would say the biggest thing, and I wish I had thought of it there because it's the most obvious thing, is to keep creating things the way you want them, even if it's just for your own use and your friends and the people you'll submit to. Because so often, especially in an MFA program where you're learning how to balance that and your assistantship and like life and everything else, you forget to do what sparks joy with your art. And you're so worried about getting your professor what they want. Like always make sure you're writing something that sparks joy for you, no matter what.
Thank you so much. We look forward to getting you here and go in and say hi and welcome her to the campus when she gets here. So safe travels.
Thank you.
Safe packing.
Thank you.
And we'll touch base soon.
Awesome. Thank
Great.
you so much.
I cannot wait for her to get here. I know she's watching. She just posted a comment. So, hi, Sheree. I know you're packing. You're running around like you said you would be. I can't wait to see everyone in person whenever we can. I know. That's coming soon. We'll just won't recognize each other because of these giant masks on our face. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with that. So honestly, when she does get here and we're able to go into that building, walk into that theater and say hi. She and I are going to be having a lot of conversations about sci-fi. Eleanor, if you're watching, I think there's a lot of fun we can have with sci-fi and theater. Anyway, moving on. Here is another graduate from the class of 2020. Casey McCoy is here to sing from one of the stranger Broadway shows we've ever might have seen on stage. A musical called On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, which was actually, I think, pretty well received in 1965. It's a score by Burton Lane with words by Alan J. Lerner. It's the first musical that I know of to incorporate, here's sci-fi, to incorporate reincarnation into its main storyline. So here is Casey singing What Did I Have That I Don't Have?
What did I have that I don't have? What did he like that I lost track of? What did I do that I don't do the way I did before? What isn't there that once was there? What if I got a great big lack of something in me that he could see that get to hear no more. Where can I go to repair all the wear and the tear till I'm once again here? Previous me, what did he like that I'm not like? What is the charm that I've run dry of? What would I give if my own know-how still knew how? What did I have I don't have? What is the charm there's none of? What did I have I don't have?
Wow. You sound great, Casey. Let's bring her in live. Come on, Casey. Hi.
Hi, Rich. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. That was fantastic. Who's playing on that?
Ray was actually
That's
playing
Ray.
that.
Ray Feldman, my next door neighbor, who's throwing comments on every now and then. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, there's Eleanor. Yes. Fantastic, Casey. You know, I actually, as weird as that show is, I love that show. It's such a strange story. Have you ever seen the movie?
No, I actually haven't watched the movie.
The movie stars Barbara Streisand, and it's really a retool to be a vehicle about her. But it's out there and it's funny. It's weird. You can actually see on YouTube the entire, well, I shouldn't say, a truncated version of that original 1965 production starring Barbara Harris. It was filmed for TV, and it's black and white, but it's just nice to go back and watch in context, like what these shows really were. But it's a strange one, trust me. But you sound great on that number. Actually, that's a good part for you, too. So here's to you playing Daisy in On a Clear Day. So how's your summer going?
It's been going pretty well. I just returned home from Bloomington. I've been home for about now, so it's been nice to be back with my family and everything.
Great. What are your plans?
So right now I am working 2 jobs to save up money to move eventually to New York City when everything kind of calms down and there's auditions and everything again. But I also don't live very far. I'm in Philadelphia, so I don't live very far from the city. But hopefully move to New York City. Sure.
Great. So reflecting on your time at IU, what moment strikes out in your, well, it could even be something that wasn't even in the theater department. What struck as a big, like, turning point for you in terms of either becoming Casey McCoy or becoming a more integrated artist with putting all that work together? What was a big crowning moment for you?
I think that I always felt like I was a strong dancer. So I was really excited to come into a program that had such a strong dance portion. But I really wanted to grow as an actress and a singer and definitely mix the two. I was always kind of struggling with being able to act while singing and not just kind of like looking off into the distance. So I think that our T300 class actually with you really helped me. I remember working on the song and just like over and over trying to monologue that song, and it really got into me how important acting and singing is. And also just, I think there was this one lesson with Ray one day where I was like, wait, I kind of can sing. I can sing. So I think once I hit that like hump and got past that, I really felt like I really grew as a performer. And as a person, I had more confidence in everyday life too once I got over that hurdle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember the song. It was Will He Like Me from She Loves Me.
Yep. So will he like me maybe 1,000 times?
Yes, and monologuing it, because how many times does she say it? I don't know. You would know. You monologued it. So now looking back, if you were to meet, and I'm sure you probably have, but if you could sit down with one of the incoming freshmen, just picture one, and they're asking you for advice for that first year, what would you give them?
I first would say that I'm so jealous that they get to have this experience. I would do anything to go back and do it all over again. And I would say just take every moment and live in the moment. and take every opportunity that IU has to offer you, whether it's in the theater department, because we're so lucky at IU. There's so many options between main stages and the dance department and university players, which I had an amazing experience with. My actually first show at IU was a university player show, and I'll never forget it. And then also just taking like all these cool classes that IU has to offer being within a big university and learning things outside of theater that you can then take into your theater experiences, like gender and sexuality classes, languages. I took the coolest class, Rock Hip Hop Revolution, my freshman year, and I loved learning all about that and like music outside of theater, which really helped with everything, like all the rock shows coming up now too, which has been really awesome.
What that just led me to a second question that's related to that. You know, you also spent a lot of time in a sorority.
Yes.
Yes, and so how, you know, we have a lot of prospective students that ask how possible it is to balance out, you know, the rigorous training program that we offer with that kind of rigorous social schedule and the commitments that you make. How did that work for you?
I think that you just have to be really within yourself as a person and know that theater is your number one reason that you're there, and know that. And I think if you find the sorority that supports you in that, then you'll be amazing. I was in Theta. There's also Natalie Stahl, which is also in the music theater department. She's in Theta as well. And all my friends were so supportive. The sorority itself was so supportive of everything I did. They didn't mind me missing like recruitment and meetings because I had rehearsal or I had to go to class. They totally understood or auditions. I was always missing things for auditions. And they were so supportive, and my friends they always came to all my shows, which was amazing, and they would watch all my videos. So it was really nice to have a supportive friend group as well outside of theater. And sometimes when you're in theater all the time, you get so caught up in it, and just having a friend group outside just to get away from everything and like, okay, like what did you do today? You went to class in Kelly, or you were in class in Spia. How was that? Like, and so I think that was really awesome having those experiences outside too, and getting to know IU as a whole university as well. But I think if you just know in your heart that theater is what you want to do, and you're able to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this, I have another commitment, it's totally doable. And I actually would suggest it and recommend it to anybody coming in. Great.
Wow. Yeah, you were quite busy here. So
always.
And now we're in a summer of going, wait, what are we don't have enough to do. Anyway.
What do I do with myself?
I know. I hope you're enjoying your downtime though. I mean, there's using it for, keeping your craft going, seeing this time of stillness I'm looking at it as a gift. And sometimes I forget to do that certain days. Like I can be researching, bettering everything about me and my life and my husband's life, all that. So it's good to remember that we can use this for something else. I'm going to miss you in the building. I'm going to miss all of you. I really am. And you're my first, we had 3 big years together. So so I just want to wish you the best of luck and sock away that money, because I mean, you might as well be throwing it up towards New York right now, because that's, New York.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, I made money. I can go buy this. I'm like, no, Casey, stop.
just put it in an envelope and send it to New York. It's already going there. Yeah. But I want you to keep in touch. Let us know what you're doing.
Yes.
And maybe if we do another series, you'll come back as a distinguished alum and let us know what life is like on the other side. Be well, have a safe summer, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Casey. So before moving on, I just wanted to talk about what we can expect for our next episode, which is Thursday night, July 9. What I'm planning is bringing in the production and design team of Crazy for You, which unfortunately was canceled here in our spring season due to the coronavirus, and get to see some of those designs that we didn't get to see as a public audience. Get to see designs, talk to the co-directors and choreographer Ansley Valentine and DJ Gray, and maybe highlight a couple of the cast members that we haven't met before. So that's that's what's planning for 2 Thursdays from now. But and we'll add some more performances of that as well. And also, I'd like to talk about on Tuesday, June 30th at 8 p.m. IU Arts and Humanities Council has just announced this new series called Confronting Racism, in partnership with the Center for Research on Race and Ethnicity in Society and College Arts and Humanities Institute of Indiana University. This weekly series will feature experts from IU and elsewhere in conversations about systemic racism and protest. The first episode on urban geographies of violence and protest streams live on the Arts and Humanities Council Facebook page. Again, that's this coming Tuesday, June 30th at 8 p.m. Justin's going to post a link in the chat, in the chat comments, in the comment section, sorry, of our broadcast right now. So please come back and join us in 2 weeks, and please make sure to tune into the IU Arts and Humanities Council to see Confronting Racism, their new series. Coming back to our show now, I've had an amazing time working with Ken Roberson these past 3 years, and I think what's hard is that we're losing an incredible resource in terms of performance knowledge, dance knowledge, writing knowledge, and just history and talent and craft and good human being. I always wish for more time, and when I don't get it, I realize, there are missed opportunities and whatnot, but I always wanted to take his dance class. Did I? No, because I'm always busy. Well, I should have been less busy to take one of Ken Roberson's tap classes. But I conducted this interview with him almost 4.5 weeks ago now, and but it will be followed by a tribute that a recent graduate had put together for his farewell. So just to be clear, again, Ken's not retiring fully. He's retiring from IU. He has been a rock and a staple and a heart for those who know him and work with him. So before I get too mushy, I'll play this interview with Kenneth, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Hello there, Kenneth. Welcome.
Hi. Hey, Richard.
How you been?
I've been okay. I've been okay. I've been good.
How's retirement treating you?
I don't know yet. It's been, I don't miss emails. That's one thing I enjoy. I don't miss a lot of emails. You know me enough to know that I'm a big fan at all of emails.
Well, I won't ask you to read mine then. Well, it's with no small amount of sadness that we say goodbye to you this spring. I've had the lucky opportunity of working with you these past 3 years, and but you've been here 6. You finished 6 years at IU, right?
Yes, I got here 2014. I started August 2014 on a job that I thought I would be here for 3 years, but see what happens when you.
I know. So before the IU thing happened, you had this, and still have this, illustrious career in performing arts as a professional director and performer. I remember coming to see, well, I'll rattle off some of your credits. As a performer, you were in Black and Blue at the Minskoff Theater, Jelly's Last Jam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that we did twice.
I remember coming to see Black and Blue because I had been studying at Henry Latang's, and I got to see all that beautiful choreography on that stage, and I'm pretty sure I saw you in the show. It was early on in the run.
You did. You had to have.
But anyway, so tell me a little bit about those days as a performer.
I started with, it was joyous because that's what I came to New York for, was to perform, and especially shows like the Black and Blue original shows, Black and Blue and Jelly's Last Jam, and some shows that I toured in Europe. I felt it was a dream come true. It was exciting. It was just exciting as I thought that it would be.
That's great. And then you made that, for many of us, that enviable transition into the other side of the table, into directing and choreographing. Um, Tell me about that first time. I think you did some staging. You did all the staging on Freak with John Leguizamo. Is that right?
Mhm. I did that, but before that, I did Avenue X. So these shows with avenues have been great luck to me. I did the first production of Avenue X at Playwrights Horizons. That was my first SDC, Society of Directors and Choreographers union contract. Then I did Freak. I did Freak with Leguizamo because I had done his. That was before I did his HBO special and his television show.
How did that transition work for you from going from performer to director choreographer? How did that physically or logistically work out?
Yeah, I remember I assisted the choreographer, one of the choreographers, Hope Clark, on Jelly's Last Jam. And I had been doing some choreography for recording groups and things around town, and I wanted to choreograph. I don't know how they got my name for Avenue X. That was the weird thing. So, but before the Avenue X thing happened, there was a show that was happening at Mount Holyoke College that Arnold Mangione was directing, and they needed actors. And I remember putting in my resume, and they had mail then, and I put in there, I'm interested to choreograph. And they hired me, and they had no money. I got $40, and I think it cost me $50-something to travel up there on bus. And that's when I started choreographing. Now, one of the actors in that show was a friend of Leguizamo, John Leguizamo, who saw that I worked well with non-dancers and recommended me to John. So that happened from $45 to the rest. It's as they say, history. Well, it was House of Bugging for Leguizamo's show, House of Bugging. That was an HBO special first, and we did 13 episodes for TV, Fox Television. That's when Fox Television started out, and I got the Emmy nom for that. And that show, just a side note, House of Bugging turned into the template for Mad TV. It was the same producers and a few of the same cast members stayed. So we were a part of that template for Mad Television.
What was one of your favorite, or what did you take away from working on Avenue Q?
That I'm wrong. I can be wrong about things. I thought it would ruin the show. I thought the show would never work to go to Broadway. I thought the show was too sophisticated for the Broadway audience, and that you're going to ruin the show by moving it to Broadway. Wrong. What other shows? There was other shows that I was wrong about in the opposite ways. But some of my favorite shows, one of my favorite shows was Harlem Song, that did not come to Broadway. And you know how, maybe you know how it is, some of these shows that, these little jewels of a show that do not get the attention or do not get the audience that you would want them to get. Some of those are the best shows that you would ever get a chance to do.
And the other thing you said is you just wrote a letter to somebody saying, I want to choreograph. I want to be considered for choreographer.
I did. I wrote a letter to this, and he said, I have no budget. I said, I don't care. And there was another big thing I worked for, similar, that I got $50, I think, but it rolled into some other things. And you ask, and that's something I did recently too, that helped out a lot. You give people an opportunity to help you, and they feel invested in it. You give them a chance. Say, hey, da 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 da. Know me, da da da. But say, oh, good to hear from you. As a matter of fact, and sometimes they forget. They forget that you're around, or forget you, and you have to be in people's emails, as since on the email topic earlier.
Right, because what's the worst thing somebody can say when you ask a question?
No.
Exactly. What brought you to IU? How'd you get here?
I felt that a lot of the people that would call me, especially regional theaters or Broadway shows, a lot of people were dying out, literally dying out, leaving the industry. And then there were a lot of new talent coming up to New York. So my name started to get lower on the list. I said, I need to stay busy thinking about looking for jobs in New York and education. I never thought I would be in education, but I wanted to stay busy. And that was an opportunity that came up. Liza Gennaro needed a sub. She thought of me and called me up to sub, and I subbed at IU for almost a little over a month. It was a long time. She had to do another show. And I got here, and I enjoyed the experience. It was very challenging to me. I was out of my comfort zone. And a job opening came up for a professor of practice. Blah, 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 interview, da, 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 and here I am. I never thought I would move to Bloomington, stay long. I never heard of Bloomington. I thought, of course, IU, Indiana University, University of Indiana, Indianapolis, the same thing that people go through. I never heard of Bloomington, but I'd heard of needing a job and wanting to work, to keep busy, to keep relevant. I knew of that. And I thought I'd be here 3 years, like I said, and the rest is history.
What are you going to miss about Bloomington?
I might not miss anything. I say I can't get out of here.
So when that day finally comes and you can move, what do you hope to what'll be some of your fonder memories of being in Bloomington?
IU. Bloomington is IU to me. It's IU. Everything's IU. When school is out or when vacation and I'm in Bloomington, I feel wanting of IU. I feel wanting of the IU community. That's what I will miss. The classrooms, the great students, the faculty, you all support. I miss IU. Bloomington is a nice place to stay. They heard us one of the top retirement cities in the nation. Nothing bad about Bloomington.
And here you are retiring in Bloomington.
Well, you know, I am retired in Bloomington for this amount of time. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. Now, for the record, I'm not retiring from the industry,
right?
From directing and choreographing in commercial theater. But I guess I've been retired for how long? 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks now?
I think it's been 3 weeks.
Wow.
What's next? What's next for you?
I have a job offer for the Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park to direct a show there starting in December. And one other show that is in progress that I'm speaking to the producer about, and that's in the works also. But the Cincinnati show is closer at hand, more concrete right now.
Where are you going to settle next?
I want to go back east, back south near family. And it's easy to work. The great things about electronic media, you can audition and work from anywhere. I just had a friend who just did some COVID-10 auditions, and they had spacing and blah 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 blah. Anyway, I hope to move to the east, southeast, to be closer to my hub of different friends, because I don't plan to go back to New York, which I have fantastic and amazing long-term relationships there. But all of them are excited to fly down to the south and visit.
Great. Well, hopefully and not hopefully, I want you to stick around Bloomington a little while longer, because we have to do our tap combinations together.
Yes, here in Retain, 7 across. We have to do 1, 2, 3. I think I can go up to 4 or 5. I don't remember.
I think it's 7 across right, 7 across left, then you break. Yeah, that's we'll get to do it before you leave.
Of course, the shim sham shimmy.
Oh yeah.
We all have to know that.
Well, I kept on saying I'm going to come in and take class. I'm going to come in and take class, and then by the time I was ready to do it,
boom.
Yeah, something else happened. But it has been an honor and a privilege to work with you these past few years. You've done magic for our students and our faculty and our community. Just with your experience and your spirit and your heart, we're going to miss you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I've learned so much here. I feel like I was a student every day, and I will continue to be. And I appreciate the kind words.
Well, we'll miss you. Have a great summer. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you so much, Richard. All the best.
You too. Ken, he just also made me laugh so hard. Just a joy. So, and he's still here. It's not like he's, ran off completely. Like he said, he can't leave Bloomington. So, maybe we'll have him back on this show before long. But anyway, this next segment is a tribute video that Colin Lemoyne put together in honor of Ken, featuring current and former students, just dropping little notes of thanks and things that they learned from Ken over the years. So I'd like to finish with that. And I want to give huge thanks to everybody that joined either in an interview or in front of the camera tonight. Our technical director and all-around magician, Justin Smooze. Thank you. Laura Judson, Madison Colquette, and Sheree Bohannon, who is watching but not here. I mean, like I said, she's moving, but she's going to join our production team on this show. So this is it's an honor to present IU theater in this way and just keep the stories moving forward. So thank you very much. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and in the meantime, be safe, be well, be brave, and most importantly, be kind. Thank you so much for watching tonight.
I once said, Ken, you really make me laugh. And you said, you need to laugh more. And I did, thanks to you. Thank you for all of the laughter and joy, more than I could have imagined at this time in my life, every day for the past several years. God bless you.
Ken discovered me and created me. So, in a sense, I guess he taught me everything.
Ken taught me not to act sorry, be sorry, or to say sorry.
Ken taught me how to tell a story through dance.
Ken taught me to remember to have fun.
Thank you for giving me the confidence to be a stutterer in musical theater. Thank you, Ken.
Ken taught me to dance with no inhibitions, and that every step has its own unique story. I love you, Ken.
Ken taught me how to trust myself and properly have fun in a dance class.
Ken has taught me that every thought can be outside the box.
Ken taught me all about those lines.
Ken Roberson taught me the proper way to own a stage.
Ken taught me how to just listen to the music and fall in love with dance again.
Ken taught me that you can always work hard and have fun at the same time.
Ken taught me it's okay to have a little fun, but not too much.
Ken taught me to believe in myself. Love you, Ken. You're the best.
Ken taught me that no matter where you are in a creative process, there's always room to mix it up and grow.
Ken taught me that even a little bit of progress is worth celebrating.
He taught me how to stumble along. I love you, Ken.
Ken taught me that, yes, I can dance and I can have fun doing it.
Ken taught me that wearing my emotions on my sleeve is a good thing.
Ken taught me how to enjoy dance class and how to be confident in myself.
Ken taught me that no matter what obstacles life throws your way, you can overcome it and still shine.
Ken taught me how to get rid of all my inhibitions and just be myself.
Ken taught me how to love all of the things that make me different.
Ken taught me to trust my instincts.
Ken taught me that there is always someone rooting for you.
Ken Roberson taught me the importance of second chances and that change changes things.
Ken, you know I love you. And thank you for teaching me that cashmere is an everyday fabric, even for workouts.
Ken taught me that it's okay to advocate for yourself. He told me, if you ask not, you get not.
Ken taught me how fun collaborating can be whenever it's devised with people that you love and are inspired by. It was truly one of the highlights of my time at IU.
Ken taught me how to put more of myself into my writing.
Ken taught me how to bake a piece of pie.
Ken taught me to own it no matter how messy you look.
Ken taught me that I have a voice and that my voice matters. And among many other steps, he taught me how to do a pullback.
Ken taught me to be fierce and fearless and to always believe in myself. Thanks for all the wisdom.
Ken taught me how to find the power in my sparkle and how to use it responsibly.
Ken taught me consistency, growth, and how to love dance.
Ken taught me to embrace things that are out of the ordinary.
Ken taught me to be brave and to look inside myself for the right answers.
Ken taught me to find the successes within my failures and laugh at myself. Not everything goes as planned.
Ken taught me how to feel beautiful, whether it be feeling beautiful without any makeup on or feeling beautiful in a room full of people who look nothing like you.
Ken taught me that being Miss Beverly is way more fun.
Professor Ken Roberson taught me that the legs are the last to go.
Ken taught me to let go of my inhibitions and have fun in dance class, and he also taught me that there's always room for God in this business.
Ken taught me how to be comfortable dancing in my own skin.
Ken taught me to embrace who I am, to make bold choices, and no shade.
Ken taught me that dance comes from the soul.
Ken taught me the value of kinship.
Ken, you gave me so much confidence as a dancer. Thank you so much for that.
Ken taught me you can't be a good tapper unless you pick up your knees.
Ken taught me to find balance between being professional and being friendly, but professionalism always earns respect.
Ken Roberson taught me the importance of treating your colleagues with respect and kindness, and throwing in a little humor at times.
Ken taught me how to do real push-ups.
Ken Roberson taught me how to stand up straight. Happy retirement, Ken.
Ken taught me how to be a confident dancer, how to be a confident person, and most importantly, he taught me where I should go get my hair done in New York.
Ken taught me how to be the man in chair.
Ken taught me self-awareness. Thanks so much for everything, Ken. We love you. We appreciate it.
Ken taught me how to be confident in a class where I felt insecure.
Ken taught me that there is always a friend. There will always be someone to catch you when you fall, even if it's found in the most unexpected of places.
Ken taught me that nobody else can do what I do.
Ken taught me to make strong choices and to make every role my own, and when in doubt, go vaudeville.
Ken taught me that the best learning happens while you're laughing.
Ken taught me to let go and have fun and find the joy in everything that I do in dance and theater.
Ken taught me a lot, but most importantly that the southernmost part of Spain is in fact Nigeria.
Ken taught me how to be unapologetically myself. Thank you, Ken.
Ken taught me a lot of things, but he taught me how to stand up straight, like a woman.
So what has Kenneth Roberson taught me? What hasn't Ken taught me? He was literally my lifesaver in college. Still is.
Ken taught me to just go for it and not worry as much about what other people think.
Ken taught me that it's totally fine to be at the Waverly Diner at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Ken always taught me that the legs are the last thing to go. Love you, Ken.
Ken taught me that you should never slouch when you're talking to someone, and that no matter what you're doing, you should always have a little fun. Thanks for everything, Ken.
Congratulations, Ken. We send you our love.
We wish you the best.
For a happy retirement. Meow, meow.
Aiming after my dear Uncle Mordecai, that telemarketer damn song. Wait a minute. You must have heard wrong, Grandma. There's no telling us. In my face of wolf.